Hey.
Yo,
Alright, we are live.
we're live right now?
Yes,
Oh
we are.
man.
It just happened. It just happened. Shit got real.
All right.
And Microsoft.
Alright, guys. Well, okay, if we're live now, let me just send out a little tweet. Let everybody know that it's happening.
Yeah,
Um,
how we gonna organize this madness?
so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna introduce everybody that's here currently, and then anybody that comes in, we're gonna segue and allow them to kind of speak to it, and then we're gonna go ahead and riff off of that. So we have up to bat right now. We have Nicole. Nicole, you want to talk about your
Hi.
YouTube channel? Thanks for joining.
Pardon?
Go ahead and I guess talk about what you do with your channel.
My channel?
Yeah.
Movie reviews, TV reviews. I only started in March, so it wasn't that long ago. But like, I had just one, but I split it to two because I thought it made more sense.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, it's fun. I don't know. It's kind of a bit surreal, like talking to people all the way around around the world, just because I never thought it would kind of happen. It's kind
Yeah.
of a bit weird, but it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty epic.
Yeah.
We got some really awesome reaction videos and movie reviews. And do some of everything. It's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
heaps of fun. I love doing them.
Then we got Terrell Alexander YouTube channel. You want to talk about your channel a little bit?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I review a lot of movies, mostly movies, reaction videos to trailers, movies, that kind of thing. Um, Also my own art, shooting like in the middle of a short film right now, and just promoting that as well. But I don't know, just mostly reaction stuff, reviews, and my own art. So
Okay.
if you've seen my channel, or if you haven't, there's a lot of cursing, and there's a lot of that.
It's all good,
So
man. You saw your trailer.
this
It's
is
pretty
me in a
awesome.
nutshell. Oh, did you? To the movie I made?
Yeah, dude.
Thanks,
I
man.
can't wait to see the full short film. Man. It's gonna be really awesome.
Yeah, I'm making a little like dark thriller like in 4K right now on my channel to be streamed to there only. So pretty excited about it for sure. Yeah.
That's really cool. Really cool.
And last up to that, we got Adele Silver. Hello, roll credits. Want to talk about Silver?
Hello. Yeah, again, I do movie reviews, mainly non-spoiler reviews. I like to do a little bit of TV stuff. I like to throw in some anime reviews in there too. Um, yeah, just having fun on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Doing one take videos. Don't you do a lot of videos where it's like just one take, not a lot of edits?
Oh, sometimes it depends how enthusiastic I am about the movie and how much I feel like just getting on a roll and start chatting away. But yeah, sometimes if I'm filming with my iPhone and I haven't got my camera and everything with me, then yeah, sometimes I'm forced to just do one take reviews. But for Whiplash, that review that we were talking about earlier, I did
Mm.
a little non-spoiler review on the indie movie Whiplash, which was probably my favorite indie movie of the entire year. And yeah, I did that off my iPhone, and that was about one take. Yeah. So jealous. Am I the only one who hasn't seen that movie?
Look like I
Because
haven't seen it yet either. Don't feel bad, Nicole.
oh, it's so unfair in Australia's cinemas.
You the one that
Everything comes out so late in Australia. It's just not fair.
and,
Very true. Very true.
you got my partner in crime, Joseph Johnson. You want to introduce yourself, man?
Yeah, I'll introduce myself. My name is Joseph Johnson. That's not my full name, but yeah. Yeah, so I'm tag teaming with my boy Sam over here. Reviews, movies, and reviews, TV reviews. We're actually getting caught up on quite a few series, TV series, and stuff. But however, me myself, I am not in the animation department of yeah, hopefully I get some tutorials up pretty soon. Get some upgraded equipment. So once I upgrade some of my equipment, I think I have some. Yeah.
Nice.
Joe, is it just me, but your sound seems to be a little bit low? Is that? I can't really
Yes.
hear you.
Oh, sorry about that, guys.
Bad.
Can y'all hear
Can you hear me now?
It sounds
Yes,
a
that's
little
much
bit
better. Yeah.
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 All right.
And I am Sam the Nobody.
Cool.
Now we can begin.
No. Damn.
So,
Tell us about you.
Nice.
thanks everybody that's already here. We've got maybe 3 more people that's going to be joining this, and it's really awesome that we're going to part 2 of the live spoiler discussion of The Hobbit on the Battle of Five Armies. So, everybody, all around, did y'all enjoy this movie, first of all?
Wait, are we saying spoilers or are we not saying spoilers?
This is a spoiler exclusive discussion.
Okay.
So,
Has everyone been warned? If you
Yeah.
haven't seen The Hobbit, turn off now. You've
Yeah.
been warned. This is your official warning.
If you have not seen The Hobbit, smack yourself twice and leave. All right.
Yes.
But yeah, did y'all enjoy the movie?
I thought it was good. I guess I always found myself comparing it to the Lord of the Rings. I can't really help it, but I thought it was good. Better. I'm not sure. I think Desolation of Smaug is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. I was hoping it would be better, but it was just a good action film. I thought, yes. Nothing will beat that movie. Like I just can't help comparing it, but it was still an enjoyable movie, I guess. More just a fun movie to go see at the movies.
Joel?
How about you guys?
I did enjoy it, but I mean, you kind of have to compare it to The Lord of the Rings since it's like quite literally cinematically tied into to Lord of the Rings, especially with the ending of this third film. And
Yeah.
I mean, I did enjoy it, but there's some big time flaws in this one for me, but enjoyable for sure.
I see where kind of everybody's going with this. Joe, Adele, what y'all think?
I really enjoyed it. You know, I probably didn't want to see the flaws. I'm sure, like, I know they were there, and I know it wasn't a perfect movie. In fact, it wasn't a perfect trilogy. It was very long and drawn out in some parts, and then other parts were just really glossed over where I thought there should have been more detail taken to them. But I mean, I was just so happy to go back to Middle-earth and go back into the world with the characters that you've grown to love, kind of even been forced to love. Some of them weren't easy to love in movie 1 and movie 2. But yeah, I was there. I was in it, this movie. For me, this movie was absolutely better than movie 1, movie 2. And overall I had a really good time. There was definitely like more standout moments in this movie that I really enjoyed.
What about you, Joe?
Can you hear me? I enjoyed the movie. However, one thing that I kind of going to what I expected. I expected a longer battle sequence.
Really?
Yeah, I expected a longer battle sequence. It was good, but I just wanted more out of it, like the end battle.
Okay. I think someone might have to fact check me, but I read somewhere that the the main battle sequence was like 45 minutes long. I don't know if that's 100. I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but I swear to God, I read that somewhere.
That's long.
I think what they did,
It is pretty long.
like the battle itself, like it did last for the whole duration of the end of the movie. But it's like
Yeah, I think so.
There was a lot of different battles that they chained together, and so it felt like the Return of the King that it was going in continuous, like the whole entire movie, like was a battle, and a journey. It didn't stop, and so I think that's kind of what he meant. He was looking for something along the epic side of that. Is that what you mean? Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, I definitely felt that the battle sequence, I don't know, for some reason it just felt just kind of like meh. Like it wasn't like with the original trilogy where like Helm's Deep. I was like, oh my God, or like that one place in the third film, Return of the King, it's like Pelennor Fields or whatever. I probably just butchered the name, but the battle sequences in those original films were like way more epic, I felt, or gripping, I guess, than what was happening here.
Oh, wow, we got some people actually commenting here.
Oh.
Right, Antelope, he wanted to say he got to go, unfortunately, but he's asking if everything will be just put up online automatically. Yeah, it will, definitely, bro. We're going to have it online as soon as we're done with the open discussion. Thanks for commenting. Totally, dude. It's so cool, y'all. I'm geeking out a little bit.
Yeah, it's just like, this is blowing my mind. I've never done one of these hangouts before.
For me, I really enjoyed it. Like, quite honestly, I'm trying to think how they could have brought everything full circle any better, just to make sure it tied into like the Fellowship of the Ring the way it should. They deviated a lot from the book, as we discussed it in part one. A lot. I know y'all weren't there, but it was, to me, I really thought it was a good love song to the mythos that Peter Jackson put for everyone to see on a full scale. I think it could have been a lot better on certain levels, but I can't imagine it ending on a better note. I guess that's the way I can put it. But like you said, Nicole, I really felt like Desolation of Smog, like there was a lot more things that was kind of like keeping my attention, especially the end. Like on the end note, like with having like Ed Sheeran's song come up at the end, I'm like, oh crap, everybody's about to die. It was that epic of an end, you know. So I understand what you mean by that.
Yeah, because at the end of Desolation of Smog, I was like, oh, sorry. I was just going to say, it was just like it ended, and I'm thinking, I have to wait a whole year for the next one. It kind of left me like I wanted to see it, so that's why I kind of liked that it ended there. But then the first 20 minutes of this movie, it was like, could that have been the last act of the second one and cut it down to 2 movies, you know? So that was kind of a conflict I had about whether there needed to be 3 movies or not, because I think it could have been 2, personally.
Yeah, that's funny. That's very similar to what I said as well. The first 20 minutes of this third movie, it just kind of smacks you in the face, and I thought the pacing was really odd because you have this really high stakes first 20 minutes, which is what you've waited an entire year for, and then they kind of drop you down after that 20 minutes after Smaug is killed, and then you're dropped down, and that's when you kind of get your first real intro on here and what the next choice to cut it there in that place. And why, 3 movies again. I'll never understand why they needed to do the 3 movies if not for, marketing and money reasons. But
I think that y'all think that Peter Jackson wanted to just say he's got a whole nother trilogy under his belt to round everything off, or you think it was more of a market-driven thing, or both?
Well, I think it kind of technically has to be both because I mean the original trilogy financially did amazing financially. I don't even know if any of the original trilogy made less than like 800 million worldwide. So going for 3 with the Hobbit did make sense in that aspect, but it should definitely been 2 installments for sure. Because I don't know, it just feels so bloated, you know.
Yeah.
Like I think there was like 40 minutes in the Shire in the Unexpected Journey. Like, Jesus.
It was crazy.
Yeah, they took ages to actually get into really like the adventure side to it in the first film. It was kind of, they spent so much time in the Shire, and then eventually they got there. It felt quite long, the first movie, longer than it should have been as its own, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Did y'all look
Yeah,
at
and I also agree that I think that the Desolation of Smaug is the best one out of the Hobbit trilogy, by far, for sure.
y'all look at it in IMAX or regular?
Regular.
Regular.
I think
yeah.
it's regular for me.
Okay.
And 2D.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, 2D. I'm
Ooh,
always
yeah, see?
like critical about 3D. I don't know
Really?
whether I should see it in 3D or not. So, like, it depends on the film, I think.
Yeah.
So I think the film has to be good enough to stand on its own as a 2D film. So if it's not good enough 2D, then I don't think 3D is going to enhance on it anymore. Like, that's what I kind of think. So I usually go 2D unless it's a film that you need to see 3D. Like, people say it's better in 3D, like Avatar or Gravity or something like that, which I have seen in 3D. This one I stuck with 2D. I just didn't want to pay the extra money either.
Yeah, they the way that they shot this one, I think they used the red code for the specific camera that they used. Those red cameras, like when I looked at it in IMAX, I kid you not, I felt like I was looking at like a 4K TV. Like it was in such a sharp motion that it took my eyes time to adjust. And I think that CK, Joe, and Ash, I also saw it. They were thinking the same as I think. Like it looks beautiful. Like the opening shot of like when Small comes, I was like, wow. Like my jaw literally dropped just from just the visuals. But I think that they didn't necessarily need 3D, but the way that they shot it with just the cameras themselves, I thought it was really nice touch. I mean, visually, I was like, I hadn't seen anything like that, period, in any movie that's come out this year. And I thought that, like, Captain America, that was shot really well, but, like, the way that they did with the red camera for this one is unlike anything I've seen. Did y'all notice that? I didn't, also curious if y'all saw it differently.
Did you see it in the higher frame rate?
I saw it in the higher frame rate in IMAX, yeah.
No.
Yeah. I know there's been a lot of complaints about the higher frame rate. I'm not sure if the showing I went to, I think it might have had that, but I still don't know what to say about it because it's so beyond my frame of reference. Like it had to have been a higher frame rate because it just looks so, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like almost like on like hyper high res on set footage.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it looks like, and I don't even know what to say about it yet because I'm not used to that kind of frame rate. It makes the film look weird as hell.
Yeah, it's definitely different. But
Yeah.
I think it depends on how you do the scenes as far as the action. I think for the action, they capitalized, but then for the small scenes, it's like kind of going through and it's like this.
Mhm.
But I was just thinking about that. I didn't know if y'all noticed the difference with that. All right, let's see if Rhianna Simantha will. Because I want to start asking some of the questions, but I don't want to like exclude them from it. Adelle, what do you think we should do?
Did you just ask me? I'm sort of in chatting in the comments a little bit. Yeah, we should.
Are there comments coming in? I haven't checked.
Yeah,
yeah.
right here. I think I send it in this link right here. So y'all can comment for everybody. There you go. I'll send it again.
Oh, okay, I can see.
Yeah, a lot of people comment. Okay, well, we'll start off with one of our questions. We'll start off with Nicole's question right So Nicole, your question was there too much CG to go where it looked fake? Is that correct? Or how did you want to expand on the question?
Yeah. When I was watching it, I was just like, this is too much for me. Like when I'm watching the orcs, there was like a particular scene where they're on like their two sort of beast things, and the two orcs are like chatting to each other. I'm like, this just doesn't look real enough for me, because when I think of Middle Earth, it makes me think of like an actual place, an actual world to me. So when I'm watching it, it takes away from that realism. So it kind of takes me out of the movie a bit. And I just kind of felt like it was a little too much. I mean, you need special effects, obviously, for this kind of movie. But I thought it kind of was a bit overused, probably because in the original trilogy they had so many extras with the proper costumes and the hair and makeup, and they looked so real as characters. Whereas this one, they kind of felt a little fake to me. I don't know if you guys had the same sort of feeling when you were watching it.
The exact same feeling.
Well,
the overabundance of CGI was insane to me in this trilogy. It almost was like Peter Jackson was like, I don't know if I want to do the Hobbit trilogy. And then somebody showed him like the amount of CGI he could use, and he was like, you know what? Let's just go that route. Fuck it.
It's because it's just so much easier. The less they have to do, I guess, when it comes to having to do it on the computer compared to everything else on top of it, and money-wise and that kind of thing.
I mean, I wouldn't even say that it's bad CGI, but it's just so, because it is detailed, you know? Like, when you see the white orc that Thorin fights at the end, he really is insanely detailed.
hello.
But,
We have somebody join.
oh,
Hi.
Guys,
hey.
girl.
Is this Simantha? Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. Nice to meet you finally.
I know, this is the first time we're talking real time. I've been watching your vlogs.
Thank you.
Loving podcasts.
Oh, thank you.
Very funny.
Yes, it's summer here in Australia, that's right. I know, it's amazing.
No.
Wait, Jorel, did you just want to finish your point and then we can come back?
Yeah, no, it was just basically that there's too much CGI, and Peter was like, hey, instead of making it look really real, let's just splash CGI everywhere. But that was my main point. Thought there was too much of it.
Okay, yeah, it was probably overused in parts, especially I have to bring in one of the dwarf leaders. I forgot his name, but he was played by the actor Billy Connolly.
Yes.
That was way too much. What was that about? I mean, no, that.
Are you talking about the one that Thorin tried to drown in that ice river, or no?
No, one of the dwarf leaders in the final battle that come.
Oh, dwarf leader. Gotcha.
What's his name? Not Balin. His name Balin? I can't remember. No. The one that's riding that crazy big warthog with the tusk.
Yeah, the pig or whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what his name was, but
Do you know the one I'm talking about? Well, they pretty much cut out Billy Connolly's face and stuck it on the dwarf leader because it put all this hair around him, and I didn't know why they did that. It was really strange.
Yeah, I know.
I thought that CGI was quite obvious.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I do agree that the CGI was more overdone than probably needed to be. You know, that it's like, but then that's again that these whole trilogies really go on that grand scale, and don't. They go the grandness, they go the epicness, whereas I think what really worked with the desolation of Smaug was that you get those really intimate scenes with Smaug and Bilbo, and that's just was breathtaking. And so that really worked in that movie so well. And you didn't have that equivalent here in this movie, the Battle of the Five Armies.
Yeah, very true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway.
Samantha, what we're going over, was there too much CGI like involved in the new one, more so than the other trilogies, or even this current one? What was your take on, I guess, the CGI usage?
Anyone can jump in?
Oh,
Jump in anytime, Samantha.
I didn't hear the question. Did you ask if there was too much CGI?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I guess so, but it didn't really bother me. That was kind of what I was expecting. I think I'm one of the people who's probably less of a fan of the Tolkien stuff than you guys are. So I thought it was okay. I thought it was kind of necessary, I think, for what he was trying to achieve. And I thought it was quite nice. I let it wash over me, to be honest, and because it was a big battle scene.
It was epic.
So I just sat and just enjoyed. So it kind of reminded me a little bit of Narnia ages ago that came out, and I was a bit like, oh, this is kind of similar. Like, feeling
Yeah.
I kind of felt the same way. Like, when I went into this one, I kind of knew they were going to go the heavy CG route. So I tried to make sure I didn't compare as much as possible. I tried to go in with low expectations and non-comparison of Return of the King. Because Return of the King was one of my favorite Lord of the Rings that they have ever done. And I was like, I'll see how they can really top it, you know what I'm saying? And so when I saw, like, the set pieces, and I saw, like, the locations where they actually shot at, and some of the practical effects that they did use as far as with the fight sequences, I thought were really cool. Especially, like, when Thorin had his final sequence on the ice, I thought that was a really nice touch. I thought that when they were actually, like, taking people and going to different locations, I thought that was really reminiscent of Middle Earth. But I think there was a lot of heavy CGI usage, but at the same time, on Peter Jackson's defense, it might have been when he was doing the Lord of the Rings series that he might have wanted to use heavy CGI, but that was not applicable to him at that time. He might not have had the financing, he might not have had the resources or the backing to think, okay, is this guy capable of really giving us a deliverable representation of the Hobbit or the Lord of the Rings series? So I was really curious to see how he was really going to treat this series. I mean, I really didn't like the first Hobbit, to be quite honest with you. I really loved Desolation of Smaug, and I like this one. I thought this one pulled everything together the way it should. But as far as the CGI use, I think it's half and half. You can't make a real comparison without really deflating everything. I think you would look at it like, oh man, why do you not like have the orcs like real people and make it feel real, like make the things feel authentic? It's like Evil Dead, the new one versus the older one. You know what I'm saying? So I understand where both of y'all are coming from, Nicole and Pharrell and even Samantha. It's really cool, really good. What about you, Joe?
Well, when you think about the CGI, since we watched it in IMAX, I mean, when you get something, you watch things like really high quality. A lot of CG that's like super animated. I kind of got that feel with like some of the works and some of the shows. Definitely with the work that mentioned, definitely that. I feel like that was overdone. It had a lot of nice touches though with CG. Not all of it was bad. For instance, like when they had scenes where like the CG, kind of like the components they're doing CG that were like kind of like dark lit. I mean, they look really good in that lighting setting. And then you like, I'm kind of comparing it with like previous works. Like if you watch the older Lord of the Rings with Smeagol, you know what I'm saying? The dude, like, all his whole body was CG, but I never felt like it was overdone. But watching this movie, some aspects I felt like were overdone. So that.
But that goes back into what Adele was saying of making it like a personal, intimate moment. Like the relation with Bilbo and Smaug was an interesting, captivating thing to watch. Like you're looking like, okay, even though this is an anime person, you can tell this is Benedict Cumberbatch acting through the role. But you don't get that personalistic moment with these necessarily, other than just the fight sequence, because this is really all about the battle. And so
Right.
you saw Smeagol when he came in, like when he was interacting with Frodo, it was epic. Like I mean, it was monumentally epic. This is our character, you know. So I think that maybe they should have made more attachment to whatever CG elements they're going to add to it. But I don't think they really cared. I think they just wanted to end it on a high note and give everybody what they wanted, the epic battle.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was anyone able to fact check that the length of the final battle scene, if it really was 45 minutes? I'd be super curious to know.
Yeah, I want to know if I was right. I want to know.
Because if that is the case, that is quite epic. Like that is taking, you know, epic battles to a bit of a new scale, I think.
I'm researching it now.
Right. Peter.
Yeah.
Oh, so Samantha, can we go through your questions?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
I think my first question was, if you had to choose and it was like a matter of life and death, your family will be killed unless you answer this question. What would you prefer, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings? You have to pick one. Which world?
Oh dear. Okay, for me, it's so easy. It's so easy. Did you wait? Was it Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, or was it like the whole everything?
No, you have to pick between Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. You can only have one world exist.
But does okay. If I could only have one world, like take me to Middle Earth. I want to go there. Take me there right now. But that is especially because I think that I've been living with Middle Earth for like over a decade. It's been 13 years since I've been with a part of the Middle Earth universe, and there's so much everything. You've got the books, you've got the movies, the extended edition movies. There's 6 movies, and they each have extended editions, and then the books. There's so much culture around this universe, and yeah, I've grown up with it. I felt like I've grown up with it, I guess, in a lot of ways. So yeah, for me, definitely, it's Middle Earth all the way.
Wow.
What about the rest of you?
Totally agree. Totally agree. I've only read the first Harry Potter book and like half of the second one, and I just couldn't get into it. I love the movies though, but I
love the movies.
I can't let go of Lord of the Rings. I can't let go of Middle Earth. I mean, so many of my favorite characters, and it's just like I couldn't imagine it's probably my favorite trilogy, like series of all time. Like I can't get over how much I love it. So even though I enjoy the Harry Potter movies, it would definitely be Lord of the Rings.
All right. Wait. So just to make sure I understood the question, are you saying like which one will we rather like? Which world we would live in, or which one would we rather exist without the other one existing?
Which one would you rather exist without the other one exist? So, for example, if Tolkien had written, so like, we wouldn't even know of Lord of the Rings if Harry Potter existed, and vice versa.
Oh, I thought you meant like, would you rather like live in Middle Earth? I was about to be like, hell no, but
It's dangerous. Yeah, Middle Earth is crazy. I was saying last time on the live chats, like it's so dangerous. I'd commit suicide because the chances of me surviving is just so minimal.
Well, in that case, Lord of the Rings probably. Yeah, I think so. It's just more. I don't know. There's such a mythic quality to it, literally. Yeah, I gotta go with Lord of the Rings for sure.
So,
childhood favorite.
I wanted to make sure he was acknowledged. Hey, what's going on, CK?
Hi everybody. Sorry I'm late. I was kind of busy gaming on Battlefield 4. I do apologise for the slight late. I wanted to finish this conquest that I was on. I thought, I can't leave, because if I leave, the people on my team are going to be pissed off, and it's like, why is he quitting now? And like, yeah, so, sorry. Hi, everybody. Again, my lighting isn't working really well in my room, so excuse the fact that you can't see my face, but that's probably better for everybody anyway, to be honest.
No problem.
Adele, I remember you. Simantha, obviously. Rhianna, I'm guessing, is probably still on the way back from work.
Yeah.
So who are the two new faces that I don't know? It's Jarrell and
Nicole.
Nicole.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
Yep.
May already or may not know, I'm known as CK61938. My YouTube channel, my real name's Waliu. Live in the UK, used to live in London, but now live in Newcastle upon Tyne. I work in IT, I'm a big Superman fan, and I'm sure Sam's probably already told you all of that at some point.
I was actually, you did it so well, I can't do it better than that.
That was a good introduction. I feel like you've done that before.
Yeah, I think I have. Perhaps, yeah. So, what were we discussing? Sorry, as I was rudely interrupting you guys.
Oh, this was a big one. Take it away, Simantha. We have to find out.
We came up with a bunch of questions. So my first question was, if you could only have the world of Harry Potter exist or Lord of the Rings exist, which one would you pick out of the two? And so far, it's 3-0 to Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
You haven't told us yet, Simantha.
Jeez, that's a tough one, even for someone like me, and I'll tell you why. Because I haven't read either of the books of both of those franchises. However, that being said, I would probably also go with Lord of the Rings, not because of the fact that it's Lord of the Rings, but because of the fact that the books that I have read. I don't know if any of you have heard of an author by the name of David Eddings. He's written like other fantasy-related books. Two particular stories that I've been reading of his titled The Belgariad and The Malorian. And they basically, both stories have 5 books each, and they are set in a fantasy world like Middle-earth, essentially. And that was actually the first sort of real fantasy world, you know, type story that I read when I was really young. So for me, whilst everybody else was growing up with Lord of the Rings, I was growing up with David Eddings and his stories. So yeah, I would go with Lord of the Rings because, you know, the idea of living in that world, even though you could say sorcerers, wizards, but then, you know, we've got that in the Harry Potter world. But with Harry Potter, everybody's going to school, whereas in Lord of the Rings, you're not really going to school. You're going after an old dude who wants his ring back. He's basically a big crybaby. That's all it is. But yeah, I think it's just the whole wasteland and all these relics, these castles, these interesting architecture. That how the hell did anybody ever get to build anything with all the battles going on? I don't know. But it's no, I definitely would go with the Lord of the Rings, you know, world essentially. I mean, come on, think about it. Would you prefer to have Gandalf the White walking alongside you or Hagrid? Do you know what? Don't answer that question. Do not answer that question. That's asking the impossible. So yeah, we'll just skip that part.
Well, you make a really interesting point. I forgot about the studying bit on Harry Potter because I hated studying. So yeah, I mean, that didn't factor into my thought process. But I was thinking, like, I was saying the other day that for me, my idea of hell would be like studying and being on the treadmill at the same time. So yeah, I wouldn't want to study if I was in Harry Potter. So I might have to rethink some things now.
It does make you think, that's for sure. Jeez. What are the questions? I don't think I actually prepared any questions myself. Did we get any other questions asked?
I don't know. I didn't prepare any questions, but
just okay. Before we move further, I'm sure everybody else probably mentioned this, but Jarrell and Nicole, I have a tendency to talk a lot, so if it's quiet, expect me to start filling in the silence because I hate awkward silences. I really do. So
No, that's cool. I hate awkward silences myself.
good.
Who,
That's what
who loves
I
awkward
love that.
silences?
I think that's brilliant.
Oh dear! Can you believe
Oh,
it, guys?
searched up.
Next time.
I searched up the length of the battle, and it's 45 minminutes long.
Wow.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go. Well
Yeah,
done,
boys.
Jarrell.
Yeah.
45-minute battle. Good
Yeah.
lord! Just imagine just half the film just being that.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Good lord.
that's yeah,
5 minutes.
quite something.
Wow. Nicole, you've got too much time in your hands.
No,
Discussing it before.
that was a question from earlier. That was we were fact checking that from earlier.
We
We have
talk
some
about
people
the-
getting nicely involved in the comments, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys are in the comments, but love it when people get involved like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start answering some of these questions people are asking. A lot of different
Yeah.
questions that they're asking. What sort of questions? Where's the YouTube link? I don't have it. Give me.
I'll resend it. Hold on. While we're doing that, Simantha, what was your second question? Because I really like that question.
Yeah, my second question is because I was first introduced to Peter Jackson from watching his film Heavenly Creatures. So I really, really like that film, and it's a very different style to Lord of the Rings. So my question is, what do you see, where do you see Peter Jackson going in terms of directing, and what would you like to see him do going forward?
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
Just before we answer that, is Heavenly Creatures, is it a 90s film by any chance?
90. Well, it stars Kate Winslet,
Kate
and
Winslet.
that
I
girl.
thought I recognised that film. I love Kate Winslet. She's like my favourite actress of all time. I actually did confess my love to Kate Winslet one day, and it was very memorable. I'm just going to leave it there. Thanks. Yeah. Sorry. Answer the question, please, someone.
I honestly would love. Well, I don't know if y'all have heard that they're going to be doing the Star Wars trilogy. Like, they're going to go from number to number. But now that Disney has the rights to the Star Wars series, they're going to be actually doing like different variations on different like set pieces. As far as like, okay, if somebody random director wants to do something as far as Star Wars related or add the characters in, they can do that. I think that having Peter Jackson direct a Star Wars film, I think like everything, the world would shut down. If he does it the way I think he would, like he'd be the one person I know would go out there and beyond. And I haven't seen him do anything like as far as space related or as far as like science fiction. I've seen him do like more so like medieval science fiction. So I think that seeing him do a Star Wars movie, I would geek out. I would freak out if I saw him.
Wow. Star Wars.
I can't really see him doing a Star Wars movie, to be totally honest. And I'll tell you why. Purely because I think he's more of a... I mean, obviously before he delved into the Lord of the Rings Middle-earth universe, I think he's more of an indie director. I would say that he would probably go back to doing things like Heavenly Creatures, you know, indie-type movies. I think he wants to eventually go back to that. Unless, of course... if he was approached by Disney, which I'm sure Warner Brothers may not want to happen, given that he was under contract with Warner Brothers with all the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movies, who knows? Maybe he might want to do a Star Wars standalone movie. Maybe he might want to direct Episode 8 when we eventually get to that one as well. But I sincerely cannot see him doing anything of that magnitude. I can't even see him doing like a superhero comic book movie, to be totally honest as well. It just for me it just seems a bit out of his realm essentially, and try not to read too much into that pun that I've just mentioned there. But I think Peter Jackson is more of a sort of like an indie type related director, and he might go back to smaller budget movies, who knows, or he could eventually find another style in the world of Lord of the Rings and delve into that universe again. You know, I know that there's a story again that was, is it the Silmarillion or something like that?
The Silmarillion?
Yeah.
Something like that.
So again, a lot of people are thinking, is he going to start delving into that as well? We don't know. possibly, but yeah, I can't see him doing anything space related or Star Wars related anytime soon. But anything can change between now and however many years he decides to do a film.
Well, what did you think of his go at King Kong? That was another fantasy world. And
I loved King Kong. I think his vision of that movie was just brilliant, and it's so much better than was there an 80s version with Jeff Bridges in it as well? It was so much better than that because obviously it takes on the original from the 1933 movie, and I really loved it. The spectacle, the enormity of it, even the way Kong looked was just, for lack of a better word, he looked beautiful.
Yeah.
Totally honest. I'll be honest with you. Kong looked amazing, right? And watching him on the big screen was just fabulous because I did enjoy every minute of that film. It's like you look at the close-up shots of King Kong, you look at the world that he was in on Skull Island, and all the big creatures that we had, and you know, Tyrannosaurus Rex appearing and getting his face taken off as well at the same time. You know.
Oh yeah.
Just such a, it was. I think for me, in a way, that was kind of, even though Kong came out after the Lord of the Rings universe.
Yeah.
I wonder if Peter Jackson probably looked at doing King Kong before Lord of the Rings and then thought, you know what, I will eventually get there, but let me deal with this particular fantasy world first. But I think when he did King Kong, it was pretty much everything he wanted it to be. Whatever his vision was for it, we pretty much saw it. That's the way I feel. And as I say, it was well-deserved, awesome film as far as I'm concerned. Now I'm going to have to watch it again. You guys are going to watch it again. Thanks.
No. Now you have made me want to go and watch it again because I remember seeing it, and honestly, I didn't think too much of it. As in, I thought it was a good movie. I loved the visual effects. I agree, Kong was amazing. Was Kong again CGI? Was mocapped from Andy Serkis? Is that right?
Correct. Yes, it was.
Yeah, Kong was amazing, and the stuff with the dinosaurs and T-Rex was full on amazing. But you know what? I can't remember bits. You know, there aren't any standout scenes from my memory looking back of when I saw it, which was a few years ago now. But yeah, now that I've heard you speak so passionately about it, I need to go back and see it again.
Yeah, it is a really. I mean, I just remember the one line that Jack Black's character says. Not just at the end, but somewhere in the middle of the film as well. But it was very more emotional towards the end after what happened to Kong. Is when he says that it wasn't the fall that killed him, it was beauty what killed the beast. And that line was just so essential to the movie. It made you realise that at the end of the day, it wasn't about the fact that he got shot down by the planes. It was the fact that he fell in love with a female, and it was that love was what killed him in the end. You know, and it's very interesting seeing that interaction between a human and a 50-foot gorilla. And it's like, okay, how does this work? How do you make this incomparable couple actually work? And I tell you what, when you look at things like Beauty and the Beast, Hunchback of Notre Dame, all of those sort of stories where you've got a slightly disfigured, ugly-looking individual up against the most beautiful-looking woman in the world, and you're thinking, this isn't right. How can you pair these two together? And at the end of the day, it's that old saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Clearly, Kong saw something beautiful about the female, and at the same time, she obviously saw something beautiful about him as well. And in the end, it ended up killing the poor bastard. You know, this is the thing. So, yeah, it is a beautiful film, and I am going to have to watch it again now. I'm going to have to watch it tomorrow. Cheers.
Yeah, I just want to add that King Kong is amazing, and Jack Black is amazing, and he has superpowers. But let's keep going.
Okay, can we go back to The Hobbit? Let's see how we do talking about Beauty and the Beast and like loves that shouldn't be that are there. Shall we go back to The Hobbit and that love story there?
Wow. So you want to delve back into Tauriel and Killy? I'm taking it. The elf and the dwarf.
Yeah, I'm sure it's been a lot very in-depthly discussed already, but if anyone else has any further things to talk about with it, I'm all ears.
Actually, one of Rhianna's questions, she had a question, what are your opinions about the love triangles that are, I guess, concurrent between maybe Legolas and the different elves? I mean, what do y'all think about the different relationships in this series, more so than, or what do y'all want to talk about as far as this?
I think that in the original trilogy with Arwen and Aragorn, I thought that their relationship was a bit more like relatable and realistic. I thought that in this third movie for The Hobbit, it was better. It wasn't as cheesy as in the second movie. I thought it was a little bit more believable. And Killy is my favorite character, and I can't help but love him. So I thought it wasn't too over the top. It was better than in the second film. And it was believable. I thought when he was like, passing the promise stone to her, it was really sweet. And when he died, like, don't even talk to me when he died. I couldn't. Tears, like, I was bawling my eyes out. I was so upset. But coming to like the romance, I thought it was a good love triangle. But with Lord of the Rings, it doesn't really feel like it needed to be there. Wasn't necessary. I don't know if it was in the book or not because I haven't read the book. Just because she's an added character, so it wouldn't be in the book, right?
Rhianna's really sold us. Yeah, she's read the book,
so that's
not in it.
Yeah, so that's been added in, and I don't know if it really it didn't really need to be there. Like, that wasn't a story that I kind of was interested in. I was kind of interested in everything else. So I love Killy, and I love, I'm in love with him. He's my favorite character, but it didn't feel like it had to be there.
But how else would there have been some female perspective in the movie if they didn't bring in Tauriel?
Yeah.
It would have just, it was pretty blokey, like so much man, testosterone.
For me personally, that was the highlight, the relationship between, because I've read The Lord of the Rings and I've seen the films, but that was ages ago. And so when I went to watch The Hobbit, really, I kept on waiting for Tauriel and Keely to get together and stuff, and to see those scenes. Those were the bits that I enjoyed the most, I have to be honest. I think if they weren't there, I might have not paid as much attention because I was just, kind of looking forward to seeing them back on the screen and stuff and seeing how they interacted. And I also like the fact that she was an elf and he was a dwarf, so how would that work? I was just kind of thinking, what would be the mechanics of it all and stuff. So that was kind of interesting as well.
The mechanics.
Think about the mechanics, to be honest. Between the dwarf and an elf, no one wants to think about the mechanics.
Okay. And then when it came to Legolas, because I think Rhianna's original question was, how do you feel about the love triangle? Well, I don't really like love triangles anyway. I like it to be kind of make sense, one person, and that's it. So I kind of found him a bit surplus to requirements in the film. And I'm not a huge fan of Orlando Bloom anyway. I liked him a lot in the original Lord of the Rings, but now I'm a bit over it and stuff, so I was a bit like, I don't know if he's necessary. But yeah, I really like the relationship between the dwarf and the elf a lot.
I thought that, so it wasn't a part of the book, it wasn't a part of the original, Tolkien story, but I could see why they needed to bring in that softer element into a movie, especially in this third movie where it's all about the battle and it's just a 45-minute battle sequence. They needed to have something a little bit softer just to round it out. Otherwise, it just would have been entirely too much.
I think the relationships in the film were in the Hobbit films. I guess in the second film it worked. I thought it was okay. In the third film, to me, it felt completely off. It just felt kind of forced to me. Very similar to Smaug's death. death. It just felt abrupt, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like when,
Yeah, absolutely.
when the two of them were on the beach, you know, all romantic and whatnot, it just felt abrupt. It just felt kind of forced or off or something. But in the second film, I thought it was all right. So, random side note: why does Legolas look like he's been photoshopped in this Hobbit trilogy?
You know
Oh my god!
The first
It's
time
so
that we
weird.
spoke about this, I remember telling everybody this when we did the first video. I basically said that if you look closely, because of all the close-up shots, you can see clearly that Orlando Bloom is getting old because his face is totally powdered with foundation. Like they must have put a good on foot thick of foundation on his face because he is clearly getting old. So they figured, okay, dude, you're not getting any younger, but we need you to look younger because this is obviously events taken before the Lord of the Rings. So we're just going to have to pile on the foundation on you, honey. I'm sorry. We're just going to have to make you look really young. And yeah, that's why his face does look photoshopped because of all that foundation that he's put on. Because, I mean, if you walk up to him and you go, Orlando, you poke your finger through his face, it will go in.
Ew.
That's all I'm saying on that. So yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, you could see they were just covering up the fact that he was, he has aged so much between the Lord of the Rings and this movie, and they were just doing the best that they could with what they were working with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I have a question to everybody. What do you guys think of the Thorin's last battle sequence with the White Orc? Like, I have no idea if that's accurate or if that was just like the battle was just made up that way by Peter Jackson. Like, what did you guys think of that sequence where they fall in that frozen waterfall? I guess it was, or river.
That was actually a question by one of the people that's been in this, I think, random, Mr. 411. He asked, "What did you think of Thorin's death?" So, I mean, like, it's like a
Oh, okay.
I don't remember it from the book. Does anyone else remember it from the book? I mean, I don't even think the White Orc is really much of a thing in the book. Does anyone else remember?
I'm sure Rhianna said that the Orc wasn't part of the book. I can't remember.
I don't think so. I think they've just tried to personify the enemy and give you, a face to the enemy to really help, identify with who our bad guy is. That's just a storytelling technique. I don't think that's in the book at all. But in terms of that final battle sequence, that one-on-one with Thorin and I think his name is Azog, the White Orc, I think.
Okay.
Did anyone else? I think it went on quite a lot. There were a lot of, it felt long. I liked it, and I loved the end and the death scene, especially the bit under the ice, that moment when Azog is under the ice and it's all quiet and Thorin's watching him kind of float under the ice to watch his eyes close. And then you just know it in your bones that he's going to leap up and he's still going to be alive. And then he does.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I thought it was epic. I felt like just the beginning, they came up with animosity between the White Orc and Thorin since the beginning. The way that they kind of played each other, as far as like Thorin, like he's the redeemable anti-hero in the sense of like he's lost people, he's trying to regain everything by his own kind of movie. And then you see him, his character disintegrates throughout most of this movie because of him having the mountain, him having the gold, but he's trying to keep everybody out. But in the sense of what's going on with him, he's becoming the hero that we've all known to be, the real king, And it's like, I think it led right up to that fight sequence between those two. And it was like, everything that the White Orc represented was everything that was trying to hold him back, his dark side, his dark place. And I knew that he would beat him, but I knew that he'd probably be a casualty to it of it. And I really loved how they set up everything. Even from him watching like his brothers getting killed that way, like it made it even more compelling for me. I really enjoyed the last final sequence.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a good battle sequence, but I got still mad the way that Thorin died. Like, like, why in the hell didn't I mentioned this in my review? But why didn't when that white orc when he got his ball and chain stuck in the ice?
Yeah.
Why the hell didn't Thorn just run up the chain while he was just distracted by fucking eagles for some reason? Run up the chain, chop off the white orc's head, and let the head spin around somewhere, and then boom, he just will won. He will have saved the day. That's what he should have done.
That's what he should have done. That's what he should have done.
He should have done.
In the cinemas, the point where Legolas is jumping off all the stones when they're falling. Does anyone remember that? Does anyone remember that part? The whole cinema people were laughing about how ridiculous it was. I was like, Legolas can do so much. Like, he can jump on things and swing around, and it's like he can do anything that's possible. But I found that to be just too over the top. I mean, literally, it's gravity. You can't do that.
Well, you forget.
It just annoyed the hell out of me.
But he's an elf. He's very nimble. He's agile. He's flexible. So gravity means nothing to him. As far as he's concerned, walking on bricks that are falling, it's like just walking on a normal, ground. As far as he's concerned, it's not. For him, the laws of physics do not comprehend. It's that simple. When it comes to Legolas, nah, forget physics. No, it's Legolas's law. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, physics went out.
They were really trying to, they were trying to relive some of those greater moments from the Helm's Deep battle and the second Lord of the Rings movie when Legolas is on the back of that shield and he's surfing down that staircase.
One of my favorite moments in the film, that is.
Yeah.
Or Kai, and they were totally trying to recreate some of those really like wow moments.
Yep. Did anybody talk about the elk? We've got to talk about the elk, please.
Yeah, I have to mention it.
I was trying to save it for Rhianna because she wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, where is she? It's like 4 minutes past midnight. I bet you she's going to be too tired now, the poor girl.
No, she messaged me. Are y'all still going on? She said, I'm trying to get back soon. She said she'll be back soon. Or is it okay if y'all still wait up for me or something? But she should be up soon. So.
Alright. God, what's the name of that one guy's character? The actor's name is
Lee Pace?
actor's name is like Lee Pace. Yeah.
Yes.
Him and his golden locks or blonde locks, whatever. When he was on that moose.
That's the elk that we're talking about. It's actually known as an elk. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that part blew my mind for sure.
Yeah, but I think the bit that was funny for me was Billy Connolly's character arriving on a boar. I mean, come on. A dwarf riding a bull. Guys, just look at that and just tell me what was wrong with that picture. Because there was nothing wrong, I thought. I thought it was hilarious. Riding a boar. I mean...
Riding a boar.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible. That's all I'm going to say.
It's crazy. I had a question, a random question. Is there some kind of like old relationship between Gandalf and what's her name, Galadriel?
Oh yeah.
I feel like
Maybe they go way back in the day or something.
Alright, Gandalf, eh? Alright.
They go a few centuries back.
I really felt like there was a potent history there, and they portrayed the character so well. I don't know. I was interested what y'all thought about it.
Is that mentioned in the book, possibly, or hinted in the book?
I have no clue.
I don't remember seeing anything like that. Never been. But yeah, they have been. Like it's been centuries. Yeah, like they're super old. But I don't remember them hinting any sort of bigger relationship than just friendship. So I loved that in the movie they hinted at it, but they didn't give it to you. You know, you might not have seen it if you could have easily missed it. And I thought that was a really fun little layer that you can only really do, so well in a movie that you could blink and you could miss that. That was cool.
Yeah.
That wizard fight was epic. I thought it was awesome.
So epic. So
It was
awesome.
so cool.
So cool. Did anyone else think that those wraiths, the wraiths, when they're fighting those wraiths, the way that they moved and hissed and shape-shifted, it felt like out of a video game. It was absolutely awesome.
Mm-hmm. I just like that one dude's voice. What's his name? Saruman or whatever?
Saruman?
Yeah.
That dude's voice is amazing. He's like, oh, crazy voice.
I think Rhianna was saying in the last video that the actor's like 95 or something. That's crazy.
92 to Christopher Lee. Yeah, it's Christopher Lee. So Christopher Lee's 92 years old. 90 years old, most credited actor ever. He's been in over 200 odd films.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Hey, who's taller? Is it Gandalf or like Kate Blanchett's character? Like, who's taller? Because they're both tall as fuck.
That depends on the question. Depends on the shoes. It's all about the footwear. Remember the footwear.
Yeah. And then when Galadriel gets all dark to cast that spell to cast Sauron out. And
don't get me started on that
freaky. Oof. No, get started. Go on, tell me.
My only problem with that is we never found out what the hell happened to Sauron after that. It was like, be gone, Sauron, bugger off, we've got something else better to do. And then next thing you know, the rest of the film was all about the dwarves and the elves and the orcs, and it was like, where did Sauron go, and why was Saruman going after him? Why is it Saruman was the one to say, leave him to me, I'll deal with this?
Well, that just ties straight back into the Lord of the Rings movies. So what happens, I mean, it has nothing to do with The Hobbit at all. I think it's just a nice tie-in for the Lord of the Rings because Saruman takes it upon himself to try and find out what Sauron is doing, but in the first Lord of the Rings movie, he starts getting corrupted by him. So that was the, the beginning of that, where that relationship was going. And then you never see Sauron again, I guess, because he really doesn't have anything to do with the Hobbit. It's just to give you a clue that he is regrouping his forces, and that's why in Lord of the Rings, he sort of is coming to power in that moment later on.
But I just wanted to see him build his tower in Mordor, that was all. that was my only downfall. I just want to see his tower get built.
Want to see his tower?
Yeah, in that sense. Whoa. This video's just taking a wrong turn. Right. Yeah. Anyway, moving swiftly.
Anyway.
Oh dear. Quick, someone say something.
Awkward silence. Okay, I had a question. I actually had something I wanted to ask everybody, is if they have seen or are planning on seeing these Hobbit extended editions. I haven't seen any of the extended edition Hobbit movies, but I think that I would like to now that the movies are over, like the cinema release movies are over. I want to go back and get the three, the extended editions and watch them all, like I did with Lord of the Rings. So, are you guys planning on seeing the extended editions?
Definitely.
I've seen
absolutely.
I'm probably not going to, but my plan is to rewatch Lord of the Rings again, just because I don't get it. I mean, there's so much love for it. I don't dislike it, don't get me wrong, but it's pretty much the same way I feel about the Marvel kind of huge films. I like them, but it's not something that, I don't go crazy about them. They're not really my thing. But I want to give it another go to see what I'm missing out. Because I like them, but I don't feel like so passionately about them. So I'll give the normal cuts like another go, all three of them at once, and see how I feel.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you in the sense that for the extended versions of The Hobbit, at least, I don't think I would venture that way because I like the Hobbit trilogy, but I don't love it.
Yeah.
I love Lord of the Rings, so it's different.
Yeah, I mean, it's like someone's just asked just now, how would we feel if the films had been released in the correct order? What if The Hobbit had been released before Lord of the Rings? Would Peter Jackson have just done one film, or would he have still done a trilogy? You know, I'm in the mindset that I think he would have just done one film because it is just the one book. But the fact that he did Lord of the Rings first, and that turned out to be such a huge success, he then thought, well, I'll tell you what, let's do The Hobbit, but I'm going to add in some bits. I'm going to add this in, I'm going to add that in, we're going to do 2 films, and that was the end of it. And then suddenly it was like, no, guys, I'm going to add more. We're going to have a huge battle as well, and it's going to be about 40-odd minutes long. Stuff it, we're making a 3rd movie. Suddenly everyone's thinking, okay, he's all about the money now. But I think it wasn't just a case it was all about the money. I think it was more the fact that he missed being in Middle Earth at the end of the day. And when you've devoted a good portion of your life on a project as big as Lord of the Rings in particular, I mean, we're talking over the course of 5 years, those 3 films were made back to back. And then deciding to do The Hobbit, I mean, you know, we go all the way back to '97 from when the filming started, and that's 17 years. 17 years, that's a big chunk of someone's life. So when you've devoted that amount of time to a huge project like these, well, I'd say stretch it out as far as you can. You know, whether you make enough money from it or not, it's all about how much you put into it and the fact that you love doing it, and he loved doing it. Otherwise,
yeah,
he would not.
I think it was a good idea to. I mean, I don't know. I actually didn't think it was a cash grab or anything like that. I do think he is absolutely passionate about these books. It's kind of his life's work kind of thing. This is what we're going to remember him for. I think he wants to spend longer there. I think he wanted to give his fans more time there. So just as they kind of split the last Harry Potter book or even the last Hunger Games, I can understand because the fans, the creators might feel that the fans actually want to spend longer in these worlds. So I think it was a good idea. I think it was a good call. I found the films kind of all work as 3 films anyway. I'm sure like if they'd left out a lot of the add-ons that people are saying that wasn't in the book, they could have probably filmed it in one. But I liked all the tie-ins to Lord of the Rings. I thought that was quite cool.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's also nice. Not only does he want to spend more time there and give the fans more time there, but it's also a sense of like national pride for New Zealand. I mean, New Zealand is Middle Earth, and the way that pretty much, I know there was a time there they did a great survey of people in the country, of all the people in the country, and the percentage of people that had been part of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit in some way, whether it was being extras on set or being a part of production or part of the locations, the percentage will astound you how many people in the country got involved in the movie. It was just, it's huge. It's a huge undertaking, and the way that culture has seeped into the whole country now. And, you know, the tourist spots that they've got set up now, and you can do all these great tours to see Hobbiton and all of that. You know, it's huge for tourism and everything. Yeah, it's really changed that country.
He certainly has. I totally agree. Yeah. He has indeed. The culture is now obviously a lot more richer given what he's done with these films, and created that many jobs as well for people. And, you know, I mean, before Lord of the Rings, New Zealand was just a country that a lot of people associated with sheep, as they do with Wales here in the UK, you know. So it was like, oh, a country full of sheep. How's that going to work? But you know what? Peter Jackson has done really well, and he has given New Zealand a well-deserved recognition now. I mean, that country is pretty much the forefront of, it is Middle Earth essentially. That's what it is. Anytime anyone now goes to New Zealand, the first thing they want to do is, let's go to the Shire. Let's go to Middle Earth. Let's have a look at these places, you know. So, and why not? Because I think he has done New Zealand a service, and obviously everybody in New Zealand is happy about it. And no matter how you feel about what he's done with The Hobbit and what he's added in and what he's taken out, at the end of the day, you know, he has done New Zealand a really good service, and I think everybody in New Zealand is very, very happy with the outcome. And look at all the adverts that they've done, like all their airlines and stuff.
I know.
All those cool and awesome adverts that they've done. And even one of their airlines had a massive artwork of Smaug all over it for once on one of them as well. You know,
it was Air New Zealand. Yeah.
Yeah, Air New Zealand. So you're flying to New Zealand in style.
Yeah.
No,
In smog.
outside. You're going to feel protected, basically.
Yeah.
One
Cool.
of the comments that somebody made, do you think that there will be more films set in Middle Earth? Like, given the fact of everything we just brought up, like, do y'all think that there are going to be more Middle Earth movies that are be coming out soon?
Oh.
I don't think soon, but definitely, absolutely. The franchise is there. It's built. It's ready made for another, anybody to kind of jump in and take over. I think Peter Jackson obviously would be the best fit for anything to do with Middle Earth from now and forever. But if it's in a decade or so, it's ready and waiting, and they'll redo it, of course, at some point, like they do any any sort of franchise that has made as much money, as this one has.
Yeah.
Give them 50 years.
I think. We'll definitely be seeing Middle Earth again, but for me, I'd rather them just tackle the inevitable Silmarillion that they keep saying, there's like copyright issues right now, and it's kind of like, it seems unfilmable at the current moment, but I think they need to just tackle that and maybe just focus on that for a little while, which would probably take a long time because of the copyright issues. But outside of that, I don't know how interested I'd be in Middle Earth tales outside of the Silmarillion, but that's just me. I just don't want them to, how should I put it? I don't want them to like Smallville it, like just stretch the story out, you know what I mean, with all the current actors and whatnot.
Smallville.
Yeah.
That's true.
But I was a big fan of Smallville, by the way. But just saying, I want them to stretch it out. Like, I guess overload is the best word to use.
Yeah.
So it's not the last time we'll see Middle Earth, I'm sure of that, but I guess it is the last time we'll see Middle Earth looking like this with these actors. I mean, I don't think Orlando Bloom could handle another trilogy.
There's not enough Photoshop.
There's not enough Photoshop in the world.
No.
There was another question that somebody had asked. Is in regards to The Hobbit, do you think, like most people, not me, that Peter Jackson has lost his touch as a director? That's a really strong question.
Oh, wow.
That's an honest one.
He lost his touch.
I think he needs to take a bit of a break. I mean, it's been Lord of the Rings for so long and Hobbit for so long. And I do think one of the problems that people have had is they felt it was too long. Even the fans, I've heard them saying, oh, but it was only one book and stuff. So that might be that thing that he got a bit lost in it. So I think if he took some time off, regrouped, and maybe focused on a different project, maybe not even fantasy, maybe something smaller, and then he could come back and do another big franchise. Because I do think, actually, if he did tackle Star Wars, that would be something that I would be very interested in seeing. So yeah, I don't think he's lost his touch, but I think he needs a break.
Yeah, he does need a break. He definitely needs a break. And every major film director needs a break. I mean, you look at James Cameron, for example. After Titanic, he then started working on Avatar, and then that was, we're talking, Titanic was 97, Avatar came out in 2009, so you can imagine how long he needed. And he's obviously been working on Avatar since after Titanic. So it's taken him, we know that it's taken him roughly 15 years to develop the technology in order to bring Avatar to life in the way that it did. Not to say that he wouldn't have taken any breaks during those 15 years. I'm just saying that, solidly he wouldn't have been working on the technology for Avatar. It was just that, yes, he would be taking breaks. And, you do need the break, because why wouldn't you? And Peter Jackson definitely needs the break. He deserves it, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
No reason for him not to take a break now. But yeah, who knows? We'll see. If he decides to take a 10, 15-year break, then by all means go for it, but he will be sorely missed if that happens.
I think obviously he's really good at doing franchises and bigger films, but I'm the same. I think I would enjoy to see him do smaller, even standalone, like single films rather than like trilogies, just because that's what he's been doing for so long and that's what I know him mainly for. So I think it would be good to see him do something a little different and a little smaller, just to see what he can do expanding out of that Middle-earth, because he spent so long in this world. So it'd be good to see him do something a little different.
I would definitely like to see him collaborate with Guillermo del Toro again, because I know with him helping him out with The Hobbit as well, I would like to see them to do something together as well. And when you've got Del Toro on your team, you're pretty much invincible as far as I'm concerned, because that guy is like just walking magic. Any film, any project that he does, it's just awesome.
Oh yeah, you were you a fan of his show The Strain?
I didn't watch The Strain. I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch The Strain because I watched too many TV shows as it is already. So I try not to add too many more shows on the list. But I have heard good things about it. And it is Del Toro at the end of the day. But I'll say one film of his that I really loved, and I'm not sure if anyone else has seen it, but it's called Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think everyone's seen that.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw that, and I was just absolutely taken by just how stunningly beautiful it was, and the effects, and he's all about the practical stuff, just like Christopher Nolan in terms of the filmmaking and stuff, and the vision that they have, and all sorts, and it really was such an amazing film, and when you've got an actor like Doug Jones doing a lot of the acting for all the extravagant characters that were in the film as well. It was pretty mind blowing to say the least. So yeah, I don't know, maybe in about, hopefully if he doesn't take too much of a rest, I would say 5-10 years time, I would love to see Peter Jackson and Guillermo del Toro come up with something really awesome together.
Someone correct me, but I thought that they had a big falling out. Is that not right?
Del Toro and
Peter Jackson had a falling out over The Hobbit, which is why Del Toro had a really big influence in the first Hobbit movie, but his name is attached to the second and third movies, but he had less of an influence. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm going to make that out.
Am I making that out?
Fact check.
Gossip.
I'm not.
Am I like starting gossip?
Yeah, I love that kind of gossip. Okay, I'm looking it up right now.
I don't know. I would like to say that I think that Peter Jackson is a excessive type of person. Like if he wants to give you something, he really wants to give you as much as possible, past the brim. You know what I mean? Even if it's a smaller film, he just throws himself into it. And I guess like he's almost like aims to cost you. Like if there's one thing leaving the film, it's like, oh yeah, I didn't want any more. So hopefully,
right.
I would hope that he continues to do bigger films, but I think he needs like a 15+ year break from Middle Earth. Like he needs to go in a different direction, but hopefully he doesn't downscale. Hopefully he doesn't turn down. I hope he keeps turning up. Keep making bigger films, because he obviously is addicted to it for sure. I mean, like with King Kong, I remember he was like really big for a long time, and then when he was making King Kong, he like got shriveled up and just threw himself into that project. So hopefully he throws himself.
Went on a diet.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, I think that there was an interview. There was this journalist was just like, "Oh my God, you look so slim. You look so nice," and he was just like, "Yeah, I went on a diet. I was too big," but then obviously he made The Hobbit and put it all back on.
Yeah. I do remember him saying like he put a lot of work into King Kong for sure. Yeah. Hopefully he keeps going that route, just with projects outside of Middle Earth. That would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, to answer the question about their suspected fallout, it wasn't a case that they had a falling out. It was that Del Toro was supposed to have directed the second Hobbit film,
Oh, okay. Yep.
But
Yeah.
because he had
And
so much project, because this is the problem with Del Toro. Once he starts dipping his hand into too many eggs, it's like, okay, which one do I break first? And it's like, well, dude, you've broken that many, you're going to have to leave one behind. Sorry. So, yeah, he had to leave The Unexpected Journey, otherwise he would have been director for that particular film. But there was no arguments or anything between them, just that he had so many things going on that he could not eventually finish.
He had to step back. Oh, I would have liked to have. Yeah, I wonder if it would have been much different if he had directed. In that
Probably, it might have been, but
Yeah.
we'll never know.
I was thinking the same thing because Del Toro still was the screenplay writer for all four. And
Oh yeah.
he's also like the project consultant. So I was thinking, I was like, I don't think that he would move on to doing this one if they had a real falling out. So I don't know. It'd be interesting, creative differences, how I guess the scenes would go, but I don't think it'd be too different.
Yeah, I demand to see a science fiction Peter Jackson film. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Science
Even
fiction.
something outside of Star Wars. It would be interesting to see him do Star Wars, but that would be really interesting for sure. Like Peter Jackson needs to make like Gundam Wing or something, just something crazy.
I had a question for y'all. This is my question. I didn't write it out. And CK, did you ever come up with a question?
Me? No, I never did. Sorry.
All right, I'll do mine, and then I guess if you come up with something, then you can answer yours. Mine was, who is your favorite CGI character out of the entire franchise? Given, well, I even make it a little bit bigger. Any CGI character that Peter Jackson put his hands in, meaning King Kong, Smog, Smeagol, such and such. Who is your favorite out of all different ones that Peter Jackson has done?
Wow, great question. Favorite one.
Who wants to answer first?
I mean, those wolves were like CGI, weren't they? Those kind of huge wolves that those orcs kind of drove on. I like them. Yeah.
The war.
Drove on. The huge wolf kind of animal that the orcs used is like horses.
Yeah, wargs. Yeah.
Wargs. Yeah. I like them. I thought they were very cool the first time I saw them. So like, yeah, overall that was my favorite.
Oh, Rhianna.
Hey.
Woo! Yay! Finally.
Hello, Rhianna.
Hello.
God.
Hello.
Took like a lifetime to get home. Holy crap! Sorry.
You're in your place right now.
In my headphones. Alrighty then. There was four on my house. Not in my house. Sorry, I'm.
So is this favourite CGI character?
Oh yes.
Yes, that's what he was asking. Favorite CGI character throughout all the films that Peter Jackson has done, so all the Hobbits, the Lord of the Rings, King Kong.
I would say Gollum. Is he CGI? Yes.
Yeah.
Motion capture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Gollum.
Yeah, same.
I think it would have to be. He's just so well developed as a character, like Gollum, Gollum, Smeagol, and you just get to learn so much about him. He's there for all three Lord of the Rings movies, and then in the third movie, they also do a really nice flashback to what he was before he turned into the creature Gollum.
Yeah.
And you see how the ring just has poisoned his mind. You just get to see so much of him, and is that one of the first times we saw mocap done like that with Andy Serkis doing such a
Probably.
great job?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
Well,
Pretty
until I was-
mind blowing.
yeah.
Mm.
For
He's
me,
like the king of mocap.
he is. He is the king.
Yeah, it was the first time it was done right. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Mm.
And now, and then obviously you see his performance as Caesar in the two Planet
Oh,
of the
wow.
Apes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, so,
Madness.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
So good.
Yeah, yeah, so
pretty well.
good.
If I'm going to answer the question, I'm going to see it's a tie between King Kong and Gollum, and I'll tell you why. Because I would actually like to see those two in a film together. You just imagine King Kong just minding his own business in his Skull Island, and along comes Gollum, and it's just like these two would just be awesome together. I don't know why. I can just see little and large, basically. Is all I'm seeing. They would probably make a pretty good comedy duo, I think. I can just see the hilarity ensuing between the pair of them. You know, Kong trying to act all nonchalant, and there's Gollum thinking, precious. You know, Kong's like, no, dude, not here. There's no such thing as precious. Not in my domain, there isn't. I mean, you can go get your own precious if you want, but not happening here, sunshine. But
I think they're making another one
they are.
with Tom Hiddleston in it.
Yep, Skull. It's actually,
That's the only reason I know.
it's going to be called. It's actually going to be called Skull Island, and it is a
Yeah.
prequel, essentially, to King Kong. So we're going to see a whole new universe now for the Skull Island universe and franchise. Yes, and Tom Hiddleston's going to be in it, and they've announced another actor, and I've just completely forgotten who it is now. Oh Lord, hang on, I'm just looking for it.
Who's
But yeah,
directing?
well-
Because I think Jackson and Del Toro would be really good on that project together.
Yeah, Jackson did say that he would love for Del Toro to do it, but we have no idea who is actually going to direct it. I don't think they've actually got a director for it yet.
Well, is his next project Tintin?
Well, considering was it Spielberg who did Tintin?
Yeah.
I think he did it first. Yeah.
Yeah, Spielberg and Jackson. I think.
Yeah, so Spielberg did the last Tintin film, and I know Peter Jackson was involved in that one, and I think Del Toro was as well. So all three of them, the big cheeses there, all three of them being involved in that major project. And
Dream Team.
yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Peter Jackson tackle Tintin, to be perfectly honest.
Hey, J.K. Simmons is the second.
You are?
Second actor. To the Skull Island.
Yeah, Skull Island. I'm just trying to see who else is someone.
I think I'm the reason that we all go off subject sometimes, because I've just completely left it.
J.K. Simmons. It's J.K. Simmons who's also going to be in it.
Oh
yeah,
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I haven't seen Whiplash yet, so I don't.
Oh, same. Okay, I have someone else that hasn't seen it.
It's not out
Whiplash.
here yet, man. Not out
Whiplash
here
is
yet.
amazing.
Yeah, same.
It's amazing. You
Whiplash,
must find
yeah.
it.
I
Do what you
can't.
can to find it. It's an amazing movie.
I can't do my top 10 list without saying Foxcatcher and Whiplash. Sucks.
See, I'm postponing mine till I see Birdman.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, either.
It's like, psh, no one will care.
Birdman is incredible.
I can't wait to see Birdman, yeah. I'm also waiting to do my top 2014 list till I see Birdman, Foxcatcher, yeah.
So what questions have you guys covered and stuff? I'm really late on this thing.
Yeah, we're over an hour. How long have we been up on this now? An hour and a half.
Yeah, something like that.
Have we covered most of the? Have you guys covered most of the questions?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed the whole party. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this again.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to head off soon. Actually, I know you've just got in, Rhianna. I'm sorry, but
We'll blame the tubes. Half of them were shut. So
how come?
they just thought, hey, everyone's going back to work today. Let's shut the tubes. That's a good idea.
Oh, wow. Lovely.
It's the worst, but yeah. I stand here now and I can just say
Why
hey to you
why
guys.
don't you just talk us through what you thought of Thorin Oakenshield's final battle and death scene? We talked about that quite a bit. So why don't you tell us what you thought about it?
So emotional. It was because I just finished the book. I'm kind of like skeptical about it now because it's different, isn't it? Like there's a different scene like where Philly and Killy die together, and then Thorin's like, where are they? And Gandalf's like, go see them soon. And it's like, too much emotions going on there. But yeah, I guess I would have liked it more if Philly and Killy had died together and him not die for Toriel. Like, I love them as a pair. But I don't know. It's more like a brotherly love thing, I guess. And then Thorin Oakenshield, I thought his battle was epic with... don't even ask me what the orc's name is, because I can't remember. The big orc guy.
Yeah.
That's the one, thank you, Adele. Yeah, pretty epic, pretty epic. I love what they did with Richard Armitage's character in that film, like how he was just power hungry and obsessed and everything, and then he came back roaring and being the badass Thorin Oakenshield that he is. And then his death, like, because I already knew that they were all going to die, it kind of felt a little less emotional to me, but it hit me really, really hard, because those three are my favourite characters, like, apart from Bilbo in the whole trilogy, so, yeah. It was pretty emotional. I was like in the theatre with my best friend, and I was like holding her hand, and I was like, I can't believe it's over. I can't even deal with this right now. We got out and we were like, did that actually happen? I don't believe that actually happened. It was terrible. So sad.
Are you looking forward to going back and seeing the extended edition?
Oh yes.
Have you seen the extended? Yeah, have you seen the extended for the first two Hobbits? I haven't.
I haven't either, but I've heard that there's a lot of in the second one. I've heard that there's a lot of Bilbo walking around.
Oh.
Because like in the book, basically, when they're all in the elven dungeons, he's just sort of walking around minding his own business. So I think that might be what it is. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to doing that. They're just such fun movies for me. Like you talked about like CGI and stuff, right? Like look fake or not. Like for me, one of the main problems with the Hobbit trilogy is that obviously they are spectacularly done with the special effects and CGI. Everything looks beautiful. But looking back at Lord of the Rings, because I watched The Fellowship just the other day, it just felt more real to me, I guess. Like, Lord of the Rings felt more real to me, because there was obviously like special effects and stuff in Lord of the Rings, but I don't know, it just felt way realer and grittier to me, I guess. And then The Hobbit, especially the last one, I don't know why the last one, it just felt a bit sort of cheesy and sort of, I could see it, so yeah, it didn't really work out for me, I guess.
You mean the CGI you're talking about?
Yeah.
I really agree that with this last Hobbit, you know, the Battle of the Five Armies, there was some intense CGI that was quite overdone. I thought I could really see it in a lot of places.
It wasn't the best bit for me, and then like, wasn't Billy Connolly completely CGI or something?
Oh, I was talking about that before. Billy Connolly, so he's like this 6-foot comedian, and then they just cut his face out and put it on a dwarf face and added all this like red hair to kind of cover the lines where they were obviously mashing his face on someone else's body. And in those fight scenes when he's come off that, I don't know, do we say what it was, like the warthog or whatever with the tusks, and he's spinning around. I mean, I don't know. I thought that was just too much. I don't know why he was cast there. It was a total surprise. First of all, I heard his voice. You know, you recognize his voice. His accent is so distinct before you even saw his face. But that was really bizarre. I don't know what that was about.
My best friend was like, is that Billy Connolly? I was like, yeah, that's Billy Connolly. It was weird. But I don't know, maybe they should have cast another actor to like play him physically and then done his voice or something, because the CGI thing was just weird, I think, just to me.
Rhianna, we had a second question. Did you want to ask that question? We answered the one opinions about the love triangle, but the second one, you want to bring that one up? That's really the final question. Yeah.
Oh dear God, what was the question? Sorry.
Which death shocked? Sorry, I'll just go ahead and ask it. Which death shocked you the most? And
Oh yeah.
satisfied with this film?
Yeah, I remember asking that now.
Are you talking about just in this movie?
I guess so. I mean, I can't think about if anyone's died in the other two Hobbit movies. Like, obviously in Lord of the Rings we have Boromir in the first one, but I guess we can just talk about like the whole Middle Earth saga. Let's just do that.
With which death?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a surprise for Boromir because Sean Bean dies in every movie. So that wasn't a surprise.
It was, well, that was the first, when Boromir died in the first Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship, that was absolutely the biggest surprise. Because I saw that first movie before I even got into the franchise, before I'd even read the books. That's what got me started in the whole thing in the first place. And when I walked into that first movie, The Fellowship of the Ring, I had no idea what Lord of the Rings was. I just walked into that movie and had no idea what to expect. So the whole thing was just, I think I had my mouth hanging open the whole movie. I was like...
I think
Are we talking about like the most effective deaths? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, like the one that shocked you the most, the one that like got you the most emotional.
Oh, okay.
Oh, if it's emotional, then I think I was saying before Philly and Killy. I just... Oh my God, I was holding my breath right from crying, and I think I mentioned in my review, if anyone's seen it, about this chick that was sitting next to me. I don't know if anyone's watched it, and it was probably one of the worst experiences. She was elbowing me during,
yeah, you told me about
when
this.
I was watching it. Yeah, and I just was crying and sobbing, and I couldn't help it. I really couldn't. So that was probably one of my most emotional, when it comes to deaths in the whole Middle Earth 6, I guess, franchise.
Mm-hmm. I would probably say the same, even though someone spoiled it for me before I saw the movie. Like everyone said, I knew that Philly, Killy, and Thorin died, but it was horrible. It was still really emotional because I've watched the first two movies so many times, and I'm just so attached to those two, especially Killy. I don't know why. He's a strangely attractive dwarf, okay? And he's majestic and sassy. So I just feel like this emotional connection to him. So when he died, I was like, I think it sounds really mean, but when Killy died, I was like, eh. But when Philly died, I was like, wait, other way around. Oh God, no. When Philly died, I was like, eh. But when Killy died, I was like crying and crying and crying.
Oh.
I'm a crier. I'm a crier.
Oh, she's a crier.
I cry at the frickin' Avengers, people.
What?
I'm serious.
There's nothing wrong with that. I cried at The Amazing Spider-Man.
I cried with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Same. It was the We Are group bit. Got me.
Wait. Where did you cry in the Avengers?
Loki is one of my favorite characters.
Oh, I love Loki.
Sounds like anything Loki-wise will kill me inside. I mean, like the first Thor movie when he lets go of the staff and goes into the abyss is just too emotional for me. Don't laugh at me.
Oh dear. Saying that though, I actually also cried at the the Star Trek movie. J.J. Abrams did the first one. There was three areas of that film that I cried in. The first one being when George Kirk sacrifices his life to save everybody else at the beginning of the film. The second part, I actually have forgotten. But I think the third part was when Nero's ship was getting obliterated and going into the black hole. I don't know why I cried at that bit, but there was just something about the music on top of what was happening. So when the music was playing, I was just like, oh shit, buckets, here it comes. So yeah, that really got to me.
I think that happens for me too, like music. Like, you know the Interstellar main theme? Every time I hear that, I'm like, ah!
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. It really tugs at the heartstrings.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about some films like that where the music is just so effective and so strong that you just have no choice but to get tissues out and start crying.
Yeah.
What was Sean's was it Sean Bean, the actor in the Fellowship? He's like in Game of Thrones too. What was his character name in Fellowship? I can't remember.
Boromir.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Oh, I was gonna say Ned Stark. Same person.
Yeah, his death scene would probably be the most effective to me, because when he died, I remember just being like Sean, no, when I was a kid. So
it's all dramatic in slow motion, isn't it? So
yeah. And
then like Marion and like, ah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if like near death counts, but when I was convinced that Gandalf died in the Fellowship, and that really got to me when he fell off the cliff.
Of course, I forgot about Gandalf. You know, fly, you fools. That was so totally.
We knew he wasn't gonna die. Well, I did think he was gonna die.
I didn't know, but that was pretty effective for sure.
Actually, another one is Faramir, because you know his father like lays him to die and then sets him alight when he's not actually dead, and then that was something for me. Oh my god! I was like, he's not dead. He's not dead. I was frantically. Oh. That was something else for me. If any of the hobbits had died, I wouldn't know. I'd be gone. Never. Couldn't deal with that.
I thought Bobo was maybe he got like bit by a spider, right? Did you see that? He got stung by a spider. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have we got any more questions left?
I have one.
Okay.
Mine just requires a short answer, but like, how do you guys rate the Hobbit trilogy in numerical or alphabetical order? Like, how do you guys rate it? Rate them, I should say.
Adelle, do you want to go first so we don't have like overlap each other?
I mean, for me, Unexpected Journey, I go back and forth. It's like a 6 or 7 out of 10 for me. I can never make up my mind. Desolation of Smaug, I probably give a 9, and this last and final Hobbit film, I'd probably give it an 8. I think.
So you like the second one best?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you that I would rate the first movie, An Unexpected Journey, lower, and then the second movie, The Desolation of Smaug, all those scenes in the Lonely Mountain between Smaug and Bilbo, and when Thorin is just starting to go dark. Yeah, that was definitely the best movie for me, and then the last movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Unexpected Journey would be like third, and then the most recent one, and then Desolation of Smaug would be my top one. That's probably my order.
What about you, Rhianna?
Oh, what? Oh, sorry. No. In my own little world. Yeah. Unexpected Journey felt really long for me, but like obviously there's that scene with the riddles between Gollum and Bilbo, which is just epic and awesome.
That's really good.
But it's still my least favorite. Yeah, it's such a good scene, but like it's still my least favorite. I think I would rate that like a 7. And then I'm like everyone else. Like Desolation of Smaug is my favorite. I love this. I love the barrel scene. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah.
And then obviously we have Lee Pace.
Oh.
That's all I'm gonna say. Lee Pace. Yeah, Desolation is definitely like 9.5, and then this one would be like not 8.5, I think. I wanted to love the last one like so much because I had such high expectations for it. But I guess the dragon slaying was a bit rushed for me, and then everything else. Like in Desolation, they cut it so well that like it built up tension really well. But in the last one, you had like following so many different characters. Like when you cut it, it's just like, kind of brings something away from the film for me, I guess. So that would definitely be it. So it'd be Unexpected Journey, Battle of Five Armies, then Desolation of Smaug. Desolation of Smaug will always be my favorite, I think. Like my favorite Lord of the Rings is Two Towers. So I think it's a reoccurring thing. So. Yes.
Sam?
All right, Simantha or me?
I think you.
We need to sort this problem out.
Definitely for me, Unexpected Journey would be, I'll probably give it like a rating, maybe like a 7. This one, I really enjoyed it. I like how they brought everything full circle. I'd have to give it no less than 8.5. But Desolation of Smaug, I really loved how the pacing was and just the anticipation coming off of the end of it. Like, it tipped the bar for me of anticipation. Like, okay, wow, this is awesome. I feel like Middle Earth is back in the house. So I think that'll always be good for the Hobbit series for sure.
But I say the Unexpected Journey. The one thing I really liked about that movie was the fact that I was kind of skeptical going into watching it because so the entire cast of heroes are good. That's only one. But I was actually very entertained, like coming by surprise how well they fought as a unit. So the Unexpected Journey really coming by surprise. The Battle of the Five Armies, I have to say, is probably my favorite. One thing in the Lord of the Rings trilogy I really liked was an anticipation that built up to the major battles. And I felt like that one definitely, this is the Battle of the Five Armies definitely. So that's one thing I really missed versus the other two. But I'll have to say that Battle of the Five.
Okay.
DK and Samantha?
Okay, I would have to say, well, I actually came to the Hobbit films quite late in the day. I watched the first two back to back, and then a few days later, I watched the final one. So it's kind of difficult to separate them, and I think you really have to see them all three together for it to.
And where's she gone?
And she's gone.
My favorite, yeah. My favorite would be like Unexpected Journey. I really like that. I like all the quieter bits, you know, when Bilbo Baggins is walking around his house and stuff. And it was also neat, and he had lots of cutlery and everything. So I thought that was quite cool. Yeah, and like, you know, people came around to his house and they were all cleaning it. They had a little song. So I think that was probably one of my favorites. And I also like the 45-minute kind of battle scene towards the end. So I like the first bit and the second bit. Smaug, I know everybody else seems to like it. I thought it was okay. Again, that would be a 7.5 really.
Well, I'm gonna say that again, Unexpected Journey was a bit mediocre. Although I did enjoy, as Rhianna said, the awesome scene between Bilbo and Gollum, the riddle game that they had with each other. But also, what I want to touch on quickly before I actually really vote on these three films, regarding that scene between Gollum and Bilbo, was towards the end of that scene, just as everybody was coming out of the mountain, You've got Bilbo obviously hiding with the ring on his finger, and he's got the sword to Gollum's face, and you just see in that instant that you actually feel sorry for Gollum in a sense, and I actually did for that moment. I really did feel sorry for him, because it's like, here he is, he's all alone, and Bilbo's probably the first person that he's seen in a long time. And obviously the fact that the ring was part of him, and it's gone missing, and it was just that sense of loss, that sense of, you know, being alone and seclusion and stuff, and you know, there was just that emotional aspect where you just thought, you know what, I actually feel for him, because he doesn't deserve this. And that's where Bilbo then realizes, yeah, I'm not going to kill him, because that's too easy. He just doesn't deserve that kind of, you know, action, essentially. So yeah, that was very heartwarming. But yeah, I would say The Unexpected Journey, I would give it like a 7 out of 10. Desolation of Smaug, way up there. I'd say a good 9 out of 10, because everything about it was just brilliant. Especially, yeah, the barrel scene. Was it Bomber in particular, who was really jumping up and down and coming out of one barrel, then jumping into another. That was pretty awesome. And then the Battle of the Five Armies, whilst the battle scenes were good and some of the fight scenes were also good, I would probably give that about 7 as well. So yeah, those are my feelings on the films.
Cool. I should have to call Bomba or a Hobbit. I'm so sorry. Carry on. I'm a terror.
Oh, dearie me.
Hey, we've gone over all the questions, y'all. Y'all have anything else before we tie this up?
No, I think we've done really well. An hour and 55 minutes. I think
you guys have managed good. I'm proud of you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm
that's okay.
Worse.
We're glad you were able to join us.
Yeah, I'm glad I can speak to you all again and say hi to Nicole in actual person.
Yay!
Okay.
So, are we going to meet up for some Avengers Age of Ultron? Because I think that's the next biggest one.
Avengers? That'd be sick.
Absolutely.
I'll be missing it because I'm in Europe.
Oh, yeah. Which country will you be in?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I get there in March, so I'm not sure where I'll be.
Comes out here on the 24th of April.
Yeah, there's an idea.
Yeah, because I go back start of July, so I don't know what country I'll be in. Hopefully it's not dubbed over, because that would suck.
Oh, yeah. Might have subtitles, but whatever.
Cool. Right, well, it's
next big one anyway. I mean, there's Ant-Man, but I'm not actually sure when that comes out.
That's in July. That's
I have no idea.
Long way away for Ant-Man. Yeah, July that one.
No idea what Ant-Man. No idea. But I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely out in July next year.
Okay. And then we'll do like.
That's right at 2 hours.
I don't know what comes out after that.
Star Wars?
Star Wars, yeah, I think that's so late. Like next year, there's only 3 movies we can do this for. Unless you want to like do some random one or whatever, if you'll see it.
Sounds good, guys.
Let's sound yeah.
All right, everybody.
Well, it's 1 o'clock in the morning here in the UK, so I think myself, Rhianna, and Simantha shattered. We are out of it. We're going to bed. No, but seriously, guys, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you.
Yeah, great to join.
Yeah, guys, I won't speak to you till next year, so have a new year.
Yes, you do, guys.
Happy New Year.
Awesome 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be a good year.
Yeah.
All right. All right, yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Later, everybody. Good night. Thanks for everybody that's actually still in the chat. Y'all are amazing. Yeah, me and Bill have been doing this back and forth. Night.
Oh, no.